the person says it or not, but social media is such a
Mhm.
huge influence.
If you're in your 20s and you're not in that 1% with the G Wagon, you don't have your own apartment, you're not living at home, you're not failing at life. I want you to know that. You're not failing at life. You're simply in your 20s.
For some of my biggest like things that I hold dear to me is um like things that mom taught us growing up.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Unknown 20s. I'm your host, Gina. This is a podcast where we talk about the chaos of your 20s that no one prepares you for. I'm here with my co host, John.
Hey guys, my name is John, like she stated.
We are here today. We're going to talk about navigating your 20s. We are both post grad. One of us is a year out, one of us is a couple months out. And we just kind of wanted to create a space in which we can navigate and talk about our 20s together and kind of talking about the chaos that nobody prepares you for, which is your 20s, whether that's job hunting. Also, in today's podcast, we want to emphasize on just the comparison between how your normal 20s are supposed to look like versus the comparison that we have online. And oftentimes, I see a lot of discussions online where they talk a lot of people in their 20s, they're comparing themselves to people who are online, which is the 1% of people that we see that are doing really, really well. Granted, we're not I'm not saying that everyone is doing terrible in their 20s, but that 1% is so isolated and making it seem like everyone is supposed to have a G-Wagon, everyone is supposed to have a high-rise apartment in Chicago, New York, and kind of living it up when the reality of the 95% is you're probably still living at home, probably don't have a job yet, or still trying to figure it out. So I kind of just want to create a space in which where we can navigate and talk about our 20s. So what do you think about this ongoing 1% of what your 20s is supposed to look like?
Personally, and you know this, we've had a lot of conversations on car rides and where we've both expressed our opinions. And some of them it's always the same undertone. And whenever I'm speaking to anyone in their 20s, honestly, there's always that bit of undertone where like whether the person says it or not, but social media is such a
Mm-hmm.
huge influence on where we want to be in our lives. Yes, parents, yes, where you live and other things matters, but let's be honest, like social media is a huge indicator of whether you see yourself as a failure or as a
Mm-hmm.
success.
Yeah.
And if you're not, like you said, if you're not living like the top 1%, if you don't have that G Wagon, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a penthouse in Dallas
Yeah.
and you are quote unquote 25, you
Mm-hmm.
failed.
No, honestly, it's honestly these 21-year-olds. That's what's that's kind of what's tweaking everybody out. I saw this discussion online where a girl posted that she had to unfollow several people online because it's just like it's unrealistic and it's affecting her mental health because she's starting to compare herself to all these 20-year-olds. If we're being real, it's not even the 25 to
No.
late 20-year-olds. It's these the early 20 people. Like I'm not one of the early 20s, but it's us who are in our early 20s who are doing the social media, who are doing all these
Yeah.
things, or who are well into their nursing careers and stuff like that. Because I know that a lot of nurses do make a pretty good money, especially the ones who also do social media. But the 1%, I saw this conversation where she was like in the comments, and this one specific comment kind of stood out to me where a girl, I'm not going to mention the specific people that she was talking about, but they're these like very known uh, co YouTubers. They have a YouTube channel together, and they're 22. They're my age. They're doing really, really well in their lives, and they have the 1% idea of what it's supposed to look like. And
Yeah.
she was like, I had to unfollow them because I'm just like, that's not. She was saying that it was making her feel bad, and she started to go into her head, and she was just constantly kind of belittling herself because she's like, what? How different are they from me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's when you have to realize where it's like granted, yes, God has blessed them, but another thing is like we all move at our own pace. God
Yeah.
has all of us at a different pace. So for you to sit there and kind of compare yourself to somebody else's journey and this other thing where people are saying copy and paste whatever they said in their prayers, that's another thing for a different day. But
Yeah.
that bothers me so much because you have no idea. People want the blessing without the trials.
Yeah.
That's another conversation for a different day. But people want
Yeah.
the blessing without the trial. For that one, that really it upset me. But then also I was like, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves. That really bothered me.
And yeah, and you know me, I like always diving deeper than like,
Hmm.
okay, like this is the surface level question, but what's underneath that?
Right.
And we've all been there. It's easy to go like, what do they have, and
Hmm.
what don't I have? And first and foremost, this is not a rant about like, hey, we don't have it, they got it figured out, and we are hating on them because
Yeah.
they got it
It's never
figured
that.
out. Yeah,
Bless you.
you know what I
I'm
mean?
I'm happy for you, and God willing, I will be there one day. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's not that.
And for some of my biggest like things that I hold dear to me is um, like things that mom taught us growing up. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the biggest things that like to very much simplify it on like blessings, she's like twins share a womb for 9 months,
Mm-hmm.
but they aren't born at the same time.
Exactly.
One person comes out first, the other person comes out last.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean that they're not twins.
Exactly.
Like your friend could quote unquote make it in
Mm-hmm.
5 years and it could take you 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then the question is like, how, not necessarily how do, because with friends it's different because a part of you is gonna, you want to celebrate them, you're celebrating
Mm-hmm.
your friend, but on social media it's different. These people, we don't know them.
Exactly.
You know,
You don't know.
you don't
Not
know
to
their
say anything
struggles.
about juju or anything like that.
Exactly.
But you don't know how they got their money. That's another thing. And it's like,
Exactly.
I don't want this to sound hateful by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm so proud of everyone who's doing well on the internet right now and who is capitalizing on whatever it is that they're doing. But our conversation here is more isolated on the fact that 95% of people in their 20s, they're not living the glamorized life. And our point here is that we don't want you to be feeling bad about yourself. We don't want you to have this isolated feeling where it's like you're not good enough and you're not where you're supposed to be. Because oftentimes, especially post grad for me, it's like you're trying to make it as soon as you can, and it feels like oftentimes you start to feel like a failure super quickly, especially when you
Exactly.
have a degree. It's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
I have a degree, this should be easier, this should
Uh-huh.
open up more doors. And I feel like we could go deeper into that a little bit later, but it's not linear. The path is not
No.
linear.
No.
And we don't want people out there in their 20s, especially in your early 20s, when you're 20, 21, 22, up to 25, when you're later in your 25s, start having some emotion going on, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But when you're to that point where it's like the 5 year point, it's like even the late 5 year points, honestly, for being real, you're still young.
Yeah.
Like with our generation, we think that 28 is old. And it dawned on me the other day where I was like, 28 is not old.
No, I feel that I'm 25 right now, and I
Right.
feel old. But sometimes sometimes like I remove myself from my problems, and by the grace of God, I'm really good at doing that. Of like just like, okay, John, this is your body. Kind of remove yourself and see yourself from a different point of view,
Right.
and it kind of allows me to just like tune out the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that noise is, it's easier to tune it out when I kind of step out of my shoes to look at myself.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things is like, if I were to die, God forbid, but if I were to die tomorrow at 25, everyone's going to be like, he was so young, he was so full of himself,
Right.
this and this. But the same quote unquote 25, if I don't have my life together, I'm
You're
a
too
failure.
old. Exactly.
It's too old.
Yeah.
Kick in.
And the thing is, if you talk to older people, they'll tell you, like, even if you're 28, they'll tell you, they'll be like, you're so
So
young.
young.
You have so much time to figure it out. But it's like, what is it about our 20s that we, as with social media specifically, that has convinced us that we're failing if we're not in that top 1%? When it's
Yeah.
like when you speak to older people, which hopefully I want to get in here at some point where we have people who are well into their 30s and their 40s that can kind of speak to the 20s perspective, where it's
Yeah.
like, you're not failing. I want to emphasize that if you're in your 20s and you're not in that 1% with the G-Wagon, you don't have your own apartment, you're not living at home, you're not failing at life. I want you to know that you're not failing at life. You're simply in your 20s. And your 20s is a due process. God willing, we hope that you make it at some point in your 20s, but you're not failing. If you are 22 and you don't have the floor to ceiling windows, high rise, you don't have the Porsche, you don't have the Porsche Macan.
Yeah.
Love that car. It's a pretty car. You don't have the Porsche Macan, you don't have the G-Wagon, you don't even have the Jeep. It's completely okay. It is normal to be figuring it out in your 20s. And I want us to get to a point where we're not allowing social media to convince us of what our reality should be. Like, let's separate social media from reality, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. And it's like, and I think that's where kind of the self-reflection kind of comes in, where it's like, you have to realize, like, hey, my life is not social media. I'm not living for social media.
But let's also break that down for some of the the videos and things that we get so envious of.
Mhm.
This person woke up in the morning, planned it a script, put their phone there, said I was gonna do A, B, and C,
Mhm.
then went in the background, edited like how this video is gonna be edited
Mhm.
to highlight the best qualities.
Right.
We've had to just go over a few things because what we were anxious and nervous in the
Yeah.
beginning,
Mhm.
and those parts you're probably not gonna see. Why? We're gonna script that out. And I think that's the same thing with these most people, some of these glamorous life.
Mhm.
Yes, and I think one thing that we don't have, like something that we stopped preaching, we've made success, we've confined success in a box. You know
What do
what
you
I
mean by
mean?
that?
What I mean by that is that we've made materialistic things the only success that any human being could have.
That
You know what I
reminds me
mean?
of scripture actually, because it's like oftentimes we find our identity in what we can gain from the world. And it's like that's one
Exactly.
thing that I've been battling with. It's like realizing I just finished reading Ephesians, like the Paul, books that Paul wrote.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading those, and I think I might be on the last one. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But it's where it's like your identity is not found in what you can accomplish. You
Okay.
were God's child first before you became anything else. And that, honestly, in these past couple of months has brought me so, not even past couple of months, this past month has brought me so much peace,
Yeah.
because it's like, I don't have to earn anything. I don't
Yeah.
have to over exempt myself. I don't have to climb up Mount Everest to be something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Not saying that you should just live through life and be a bum and do the bare minimum. Granted, the Bible also says work hard.
Yeah.
It says to use your hands. But my thing is, do not find your identity in the things in which you can accomplish. For the longest time, my identity was found in being a scholar. My
Yeah.
identity was doing high school, went through high school, what's next? College, went through college. After college, couldn't get a job. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that. The job
Yeah.
market is terrible. Couldn't get a job. So it's like now, oh, I've been striving towards something my entire life. I'm the kind of person, I'm a control freak. God battles me every single day. Every single day I have to get on my knees and remember that I'm in a space of surrenderance. But I'm reminded every single day that I cannot find my identity in these things, because now I'm jobless. What am I going to do? Like, what is my identity in now? You know what I mean? For the longest time, I was a scholar. For the longest time, that's what I found my identity in being an academic. Everything was
Yeah.
about academics, chasing a grade, chasing midterms, chasing finals. So when push comes to shove, when you don't have all that, what is your identity?
Yeah. Okay. Funny enough, because I remember we had a moment where you were reading early in the morning, and you came. No, we had came back from the gym,
Hmm.
and like we almost every gym car ride back is almost
Right.
like a vending session. And afterwards, you didn't say much in the car ride, but then you quickly came upstairs and you're like, "Hey, I've been reading Paul.
Hmm.
I think this is gonna
I
resonate
call him
with you."
Paulina. I call him Paulina because he be eating. He just eats down.
Okay, okay. Let's not have a TikTok personality. But I'm saying, like, you came up to me with scriptures like, "Hey, I think you need to hear this now."
Mhm.
And I think that's what a lot of people need. We need that sense of fresh air, that where
Mhm.
that moment where you breathe, you're just like,
Mhm.
okay, let me settle this in. What is my identity root? At the
Mhm.
core of this message is identity, where your identity is rooted
Mhm.
in. And as human beings, I found we're very extreme. We always have this conversation where I'm
Yeah.
like, human nature, we're very extreme.
Right.
It's like by this message, some people will hear it and go, "Oh, so they're telling us to not do anything." You
Mm.
know what I mean? Since they're like, let's not rush to be rich, let's not rush to be millionaires.
Mhm.
They're telling me to kind of give up this
Which, to be
race.
clear, that is not what we are saying. Go out
Exactly.
there, grind every single day like it's your last day. But
Exactly.
do not let that be your identity.
You
You
see
know
what
what I
I
mean?
mean?
The grind should not be your identity. Your whole personality. It's like those bros who the first thing that they say is, I got money. That's their
Exactly.
identity. Is the first thing. All they have to bring to the table is their money.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like once you miss one step in, like, that's the thing. It's like the core of the foundation of like what you built, where you built your house on.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If you built your house on like, I'm hustling to get money,
Mhm.
and that's what you put your identity in, there's never going to be any amount of money that causes
Right.
you to stop that pursuit,
Mhm.
or to even to find comfort in that.
Right.
Because let's say right now you're broke, right?
Mhm.
And you're like, but if I get 50,000, John,
Mhm.
like 50,000, I'm going debt free. The stress is out.
Mhm.
But you've put your identity in money.
Mhm.
You're gonna get debt free. Then you're gonna be like,
You feel
now you
empty.
exactly, not
Mhm.
even empty. You could feel a sense of accomplishment. Let's be honest.
Right.
Like you could truly feel accomplished, but more, you're gonna want more.
Right.
All of a sudden you're debt free, you're in different circles now. The circles that you're in now, you're the brokest one there. You're
Right.
richer than your old friends.
Right.
You know, they see you and go, congratulations.
That's
And
big
you're
bro.
exactly. But like you're like, it's not enough. Because
Yeah.
like in these new circles that you're
Mhm.
in, everyone's up 10.
Mhm.
Let's say God given, you got that hard work, you have that talent, you
Right.
get to 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you're one of the bros. Maybe you even you're ahead of them a little bit.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're gonna see someone with a 20 million yacht. And it's like, man,
I'm not doing
like,
enough.
I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not. And it sucks to say, but nothing will ever, you'll never get to a point of like finding solace within yourself, finding
Mm.
that harmony, finding that balance. Because
Yeah.
what? The thing about loving money is that you want more and more of it because you don't want it to ever get away from you.
Mhm.
Especially when you come from a background where like money was a scarcity. Like
Mhm.
you're gonna always want more, because why? How many times do you ever want hear, even in rap songs,
Mhm.
um, that
I'm gonna
I'm
be
never
broke
going
again.
back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
never, like, you look up, find me 20 rap songs, I guarantee you from that 20, there's at least one line about never going back.
Yeah.
Um, so like you really have to ask yourself, like, what does success mean for me?
Right.
Like, we put our faith in Jesus Christ, so like
Mhm.
success for us should not be in the terms of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have to be of the world, but not from the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
could have that backwards, but like we have to be integrated into society.
Mhm.
But like we are not. We're
We're
supposed to be
set
like,
apart.
exactly. We're
Mhm.
supposed to be like Daniel in Babylon. Like
Mhm.
everyone was out there doing what, like in Babylon time, is like
Mhm.
doing what they were doing.
Babylonians do. Yeah.
But Daniel felt the call to be set apart.
Right.
But was he still in Babylon?
Yeah, it
Yes.
was.
And I think our 20s could be described as that, especially with the pressures we have today. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Not
Your
our
t-
20s being Babylon.
exactly.
That's
Your
intense.
20s are Babylon,
Mhm.
and there's every vile thing out there that is forcing you to take your eyes off God,
Yeah.
to take your eyes off what success means, like in the eyes of a Christian.
Biblically, yeah.
Now, if you're a secular person listening to this, um, it's kind of, that's when, because personally for us, it'll always be
In
like
Christ. Yeah.
what Paul said at the end of his letter. I forget which one. It would be better if I knew which one. Where
We
he
need to start
says,
having scripture on the iPad.
exactly, when he's dying, he not when he's dying, but I think
I
he's
was gonna
like
say, don't
too.
ruin it for me. I was like, when did that happen? I haven't gotten there yet.
um, but he's talking about like basically the end, like what he wants, the end of his life
Yeah.
to mean, and he's like, and this is me summarizing.
Yeah, paraphrasing.
I've ran the good race, I've fought the good fight, I'm ready to go home.
That's deep.
You know what I mean? Now I'm summarizing there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, as Christians, what matters to us?
Yeah.
Success. We're not saying, that's the thing. When you hear this message, please do not feel like we're saying don't be ambitious, don't be successful. No,
Mhm.
like that, and whoever's telling you that's the wrong message out there.
Yeah.
But we're also saying don't just make it about ambitious.
Yeah. Don't be rooted in what society tells you should be rooted in, I think is the greater message.
Yeah.
And from the online perspective is that your identity shouldn't be found in what other people are accomplishing.
Yeah.
Your identity shouldn't be, I guess, established in what other people have going on. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. It's where it's like, it's just because there's a 21-year-old out there who's doing really well and has the high rise
Yeah.
doesn't make you a failure.
Yep.
Do not assume the identity of failure when God has not called you a failure.
Amen.
That was a word for me, honestly. And it's like, I'm not a failure because God has not called me a failure. Nowhere in scripture did God call me a failure.
Amen.
So it's like, why then would I take on the identity of being a failure? Why then would I take on the identity of saying, oh, I'm not going to have the high rise? Even if, do you even want a high rise is the thing. It's like, no, I'm being dead serious. It's like everybody and their mom has a high rise.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like there's this mass kind of like hallucination that we have going on, or mass, what is it called? What is it called?
In basically like a whole worldwide trans.
Yeah, we're all in a trance of we have these specific things that we're supposed to have. Like,
Yeah.
nobody has different cars anymore. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has the same dream cars.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just clocked that right now. Everybody has, it's the Porsche Macan, it's the G-Wagon, it's the Trackhawks, it's the, those are the main three that I know.
Remember in school, it's a uniform. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a uniform of success. And like that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
To the world standards, they have to make success a uniform.
Right.
Because the moment you're not wearing the uniform, guess what? You don't fit
You're
in.
an outsider.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, think about some of the people that we see that are ultra rich and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
where like they quote unquote don't have to put on that uniform. We still go, yeah, they have, especially for us that like grew up in like urban areas.
Yeah.
We see them when we're like, yeah, some of the things they wear are quote unquote still
Yeah, because
expensive.
it's like they're the hidden labels where it's like the tank top that you're wearing is $400.
Exactly.
Yeah, but because it's not what looks rich.
Uniform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's not the polo uniform.
Yeah.
It's not some
The logos.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So if you don't wear a uniform to the world standards, we don't care how much money you have.
Mm-hmm.
To us, because you don't look like money,
Yeah.
we don't see it as success.
Yeah. If you don't have the ideal glamorized version of what your 20s look like, you're not succeeding.
Exactly.
Mind you, succession could look like, not succession, that's not the wrong word. Succeeding could look like you graduating college,
Yeah.
you being in a stable space of mind, which
Mental health. No,
which
but
in your
let's-
20s it's which in your 20s it's a little
but, like,
shaky.
let's be honest. Like, if you're gradually working on yourself to get better,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. We've had this conversation where I don't believe that there's a human out there fully healed.
Yeah.
But we go through. Like, we stop reacting to certain things that
Mhm.
used to take us to a space
Right.
where, like, would bring out
Reacting from a certain trauma.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think we could get to those spaces, and
Mhm.
life throws things at us where it kind of shows you that this is something you've gotten over,
Mhm.
or this is something you're still battling with.
Honestly, your 20s are healing from your inner child. I always say this to all my friends where I'm like, your 20s are spent healing, or your adult years in general
Yeah.
are spent healing your inner child, if we're being honest, because, honey, we're still trying to figure out, and you don't know what traumatized you as a child, especially someone like me, where it's like, a lot of things I don't remember. And it's actually getting to a point where it's concerning. I don't
Yeah.
remember a lot of my childhood, and I don't remember a lot of bad things because my brain has kind of hidden it to the back of my head, because as a child, your brain protects you. Its main
Yeah.
goal is to protect you. So, oftentimes I'll find myself in situations that will trigger something, and I'll be like, okay, why did that bother me?
Yeah.
I don't know why that bothered me. Like the comment on social media where it's like the girl was like, I had to unfollow these girls because I couldn't keep up with their lifestyle. Their lifestyle was just too much for me, and I started to feel like a failure, and I just constantly comparing myself to them. They have my dream body, they have my dream car, they have my
yeah.
dream everything, and it's like I'm just in my parent. It's not funny, but she was like, it's the way that she worded it. She was like, I'm the same room I grew up with the same little bear I grew up with the same little bear I grew up with. And I was like, in that comment, I was like, that triggered me. I was like, why do we feel like that?
Because we've allowed. See, it's and I was talking about like investments. I don't mean like investing in a stock portfolio.
Yeah.
No, but like what you invest. like energy is truly an investment.
Yeah.
You can either invest your energy into positive things that build you and lift you up,
Mm-hmm.
or you cannot invest your like in not even in thinking that you're not I want to use it in like terms of like relationship to kind of
Yeah.
to explain the investment of what I mean. It's like, let's say we've all been, we've all been in a place where, like, on terms where, like, not necessarily that you were bored. let's
Mm-hmm.
let's say it blatantly honest, you were bored, and maybe you weren't in the right place with yourself mentally, and all of a sudden, like, there's this person that comes around and, like, you know what, you're bored, and you're like, let
Doing
me
things for the plot. That's what that is.
exactly,
Gen Z terms, doing things for the plot. Stop doing that. Stop doing
see,
that.
whether you choose, whether you're not necessarily accepting this person of, like, I'm gonna accept it, and, like, we're gonna,
Mm-hmm.
like, be intentional,
Yeah.
but you're also not choosing it.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, you're invested. On your part, it could either be a low
Mm-hmm.
investment, a high investment, or a
Mm-hmm.
mid investment,
Yeah.
where, like, it kind of, like, if it
He's
works
just
out.
there. And I hate that his just there culture. That pisses me off so, so bad. I absolutely
But,
hate that.
like, that's
That's
what
one of
we
my biggest
treat
triggers.
everything else
I
like.
can't do it when people just keep things around just for the sake of their slightly pleasing.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And it's just like, if something is not completely fulfilling, I don't know, maybe that's a reaction from a past trauma, or that's me just as a person that needs to grow. But
Yeah.
I don't see the means in keeping things around that are not fully adding to your life. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, you know how I am with like my friendships. My friendships are so important to me. I love all my friends, love y'all. And it's just like, I don't play when it comes to friendship, because I genuinely think that friends are chosen family. We don't have a lot of family,
Yeah.
especially in the States, that we know. So it's like the friends that we've made along the way as we've moved everywhere. I hold them dear to me because they've taught me so much, and I'm not the type of person who opens up very easily. So the people that are around me genuinely
true.
know me.
Yeah.
The people that I keep around me, I'm very selective. I don't play about the people that are around me. My family and my friends, those are my people. So it's like, when people just keep around people as like, oh, that's just my outside friend.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I've realized that I've realized so much of everything is such an investment.
Mm.
And I wish we stopped. If we looked at it, like, if you looked at your energy as money,
Mm.
or something that, like, that
Currency.
like that's expendable, like, me giving out this
Yeah.
energy is gonna cost me something,
Yeah.
we would start being careful of what we put our energies into.
You know what? That just reminded me of, I just watched a sermon by Pastor Anthony Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I think it was the one before the one that just came out. I think it came out like 11 days ago or
Okay.
4 days ago. I'm not sure. One of those I watched. And he was talking about how he was reading the last 3 chapters of Matthew. And
Okay.
he was talking about how when Jesus, I think it was the last time that he went up the mount. I'm going to say the mount.
Okay.
And he took he took 8 people with him, but only 3 of them went with him to the next destination.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
Yep,
then when he
yep.
got to that destination, he said, stay here. And then he left.
Yeah.
And how Pastor Anthony Mitchell connected it, it was like the access.
Yeah.
You see how much access he allowed at every step of the point. He brought the 8 with him, but he didn't break down until he was around his main 3.
Yeah.
Where he got to his knees. I don't know if he exactly got on his knees, don't quote me, but he broke down and he was vulnerable, and he was like, I don't know if I can do this. And he just bore himself in front of those people. Access. He didn't trust, not to speak for him, but from like what the sermon was saying, is that he didn't give access to the full 8.
Yeah.
He gave access to the select 3 in which he brought with him. And when those people got to their point and their means, he went up to his Father. He didn't bear his full self until he got up to his Father, in which he said, is there any way I can avoid this cup?
Yeah.
So even those 3 didn't have the access to see him, ask that if there was any way he could avoid his cup.
Yeah.
Access.
And to be bluntly honest, it's something that, and in today's culture, where, like, you kind of making friends in your 20s,
Mm-hmm.
especially for people that are not, like, hometown grown, where, like, you've known those,
The same people.
We love that for you. 20 plus years of friendship.
We love that
Good
for
for
you.
you.
Especially if you grow with them.
Exactly. And y'all grow together.
You
That's
have to grow
even
together.
more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where it's genuinely a healthy friendship.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful about that, but something that like doesn't click until you're in that bubbleness
Mm-hmm.
is friendships and access to people that have access to you in
Mm-hmm.
your 20s. You know what I mean?
Mm.
They're again, this could be how some people define this is a success area.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, a friendship provides such a crucial whole to your mental framework,
Mm-hmm.
to even knowing yourself
Mm-hmm.
that much. Because let's be honest, we've all had a moment where you've kind of stepped out of line, and you need those friends where they're
They're gonna
like,
reel you back in.
"This ain't you," and
Yeah.
that it
Or they're
sucks
gonna
in
call
that
you out
moment.
on your flaws, honestly. Because I didn't realize I was a guarded person. Because I was just going through life. A lot of people know me, I just be going through life. You know what I mean? And I just saying that I'm just like existing. Because that sounds a little. I'm not just existing.
Yeah.
I'm actually going through life. But at one point, I was emotionally unavailable, and I didn't know that I was. Not too much on me, but I was emotionally unavailable, and I did not realize that I was emotionally unavailable until one of my friends, Ari, shout out to Ari, she pointed it out to me, and we were having this conversation where I'm not even gonna go into that, but we were having we were having a conversation in which at the end she was like, you never truly got to experience the thing. You never truly got to experience that situation because you never were really in it.
Yeah.
You were so guarded that it's like you didn't even know you were guarded.
Yeah.
So it's like you were just going through it, but you weren't feeling through it. And that's one of my biggest flaws that I work on till this day is that mentally I will process things. I'm a good mental processor.
Yeah.
I'm always on it. I'm a very strategic person. I'm a thinker. Like when it comes to it, I'm a mental thinker. I don't think with my heart, I think with my head. And I think that's one of my weaknesses because oftentimes it's like I don't allow myself to sit in the feelings. And I don't allow myself to feel all the emotions. I just kind of process it in my head and I move on. Because I'm a solution person. Because I'm always looking for how can I get out of it. I never want to sit in it. Because I'm like, for me, I'm like, bro, this is weak. Why would I sit in this? Why would I want to feel this? It's like I'm one of those people. It's like,
hurts.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not even. Sometimes it's like, and I'm not a crier too. So it's like when I do cry, I'm like, bro, why am I crying? Like I don't want to sit in the mush. Like I want to fix the mush. You know what I mean? That's the type of person that I am. I don't want to sit in the mush. I want to fix the mush. And oftentimes it's like your 20s, you have to sit in it. Your 20s are literally consisting of sitting in it. You just gotta. You have to sit in it.
You gotta squat in it
because there's no way to avoid it. You don't become a better person until you sit in all the nonsense. Like the girl who was in the comment section, she was like, "This is making me someone else's success is making me feel bad about myself." You need to sit in that.
Sit in that.
There's no other thing we can tell you other than you need to sit in that and you need to grow. Above all, you need to grow from that. Because if we tell you just sit in it, then you're just going to be mopey and feeling sad about your life. Do not feel sad about your life. Sit in it and grow from it.
Yeah. And I think something that I've learned to do, because you know me, it sucks it's not that it sucks. It's hard for me to let people truly in.
Right.
And not that a way that that kind of makes up for that. But I've always been one to question my own motives. Like
he's a manipulator.
Like I can lie. You know, it's a work in progress.
We're all working on ourselves. We're not perfect.
I always have this theory is like you can lie to the world, but you can't lie to yourself.
You can run from the world too, but you can't run from yourself. That's why I'm scared of people who can't be alone.
You know? Exactly. That's a conversation for another day. But I'm saying, like, personally for me is asking yourself the hard questions. And I know it is extremely hard. And it's a scary place to A, ask that question, B, not know the answer, or C, know the answer. I think knowing the answer is even much more painful.
I think for me, knowing the answer would actually bring me some form of calm.
Okay.
I hate not knowing things. That's why I hate surprises. I hate not knowing things. Like nothing brings me more anxiety than not knowing things.
See, I think that's where we're opposite. I would rather not know.
And it's just like bam in your face. I hate that. Because
No.
it's like for me, I can go into it and I can prepare myself.
Okay.
Like for me, I'm an overthinker. So I can overthink every outcome.
Okay.
If there's an outcome, I've thought it. Granted, I'm not God.
Yeah.
So even the outcome that I thought was gonna be the outcome, 9 times out of 10 is not the outcome because I'm not God over my life. God is God over my life. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm an overthinker and you need to allow me to overthink. Because I won't be calm and I won't be free of my anxiety until I overthink or I think about it.
Okay.
It's either I don't think about it or I go through the overthinking. Either way, you have to allow me to do my due process. I hate surprises. I don't like going into things not knowing something.
I guess it's not necessarily that like I'm okay with boom,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like our childhood was pretty much like life throwing you things here
Yeah.
and there. And like I've learned, and this is before even learning about stoicism,
Mm-hmm.
like I've just learned to not react. But there's also been things in my life where like I've reacted and I'm like, why? Like you don't, especially when I was younger,
Yeah.
I felt like I reacted to everything.
See, my problem is like I've been thinking about moments where I'm like, I probably should have reacted.
Um,
I don't react enough.
that's
I'm too
I think
understanding.
that's not
I'm too
okay.
understanding.
I've realized that to me, if I'm being blatantly honest, I don't think it's understanding, but there's a hint of understanding in there, but I think it's indifference. Like it's like that not it's not agonizing, but that feeling of like I know I can't change the outcome.
Yeah.
I know I can't change the situation right now. And I know I can't change the person.
Yeah. And a lot of the times I used to think that it was like numbness, but it's not numbness. And I used to have people try to put that on me like you. They try to give me that
No,
identity
okay.
of numbness.
But not okay, let's not go full numbness.
Right.
But I think there's a space where we can see like, okay, too much of feeling is bad. Too little of it is also bad.
I think that's where as I'm growing and I'm going through my 20s, I'm learning that you need to have a balance of heart and mind.
Exactly.
It's like to me, I think too much with my brain that sometimes I forget my heart. And oftentimes I have to give myself a heart posture check where it's like, God reaches your heart, not your mind.
Yeah.
We will see you on next week's episode of Unknown 20s. It's been Gina.
It's been John. It's been real.
We'll see you guys next week. Mwah. Love you.
Love you too.